mentioned that for Rogers, he saw God everywhere. Everywhere.
It seems that way to me. I think it's not to say that he saw everything as good or as God blessed, or it wasn't a sort of God has a plan, everything happens for a reason kind of way of seeing the world. But I think he saw God active everywhere. He spoke often of the Holy Spirit and of feeling the guidance of the Holy Spirit in his own life. And so I think he saw the possibility of holy encounter all the time and in every encounter. He had this experience, as you know, in his seminary years when he went to hear a well-known preacher that he was excited to hear. And he arrives at church and finds out that preacher's not preaching at all, that in fact there's a supply pastor who's, I think he says an octogenarian supply pastor who's going to be preaching, and he gives what Fred thinks is a terrible sermon that breaks every rule that he's learned in seminary. And he says when it mercifully ended, he turns to his friend who he's there with, and he's ready to kind of commiserate about having survived something so painful. And he sees that she has tears in her eyes, that she's been so moved by this sermon that he thinks is awful. And something that I love is that Fred doesn't take that and say, oh, maybe it wasn't so bad. Like, he's sure that it was bad. He's convinced that he's right about that. But what he sees then is that the Holy Spirit has translated this pretty feeble offering into exactly what this friend of his, this woman, needs to hear. And he says that's a lesson that changed his life, that he took from that the space between someone offering what they can and another person in need is always holy ground. He believed the space between the television and the person watching was holy ground. And he believed everyone was in need. So he always saw the possibility of the Holy Spirit working in any encounter.